Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Dr. Dex podcast. My name is Jason Russell, but I am known worldwide as Dr. Dex. I'm here with my company son. His name is DJ, or his handle, not his name. His handle is DJ Studio Man.
Yes, the company son.
Yes, the company son, the prodigal. And he is the editor of this podcast as well as our YouTube channel. Today, I have a really cool guest. His name is Samuel Cruz with Cruz Build.
Cruz
What's
Built
the name of your
with a T?
Cruz Built?
You got it. Yes.
Okay. And is that your construction company?
It is. Yes.
All right. So Sam, just give me a quick update on what you're doing today and what you specialize in. You know, your business, all that.
Yeah. Sweet. So, I am a custom builder. I primarily focus on anything that is unique, complicated, or high performance. And what I mean by that is that I've only done 2 bathroom remodels in 5 years. One of them was
Mm-hmm.
all brick, and one of them was all marble. So I really just kind of pick and choose whatever projects sound unique or challenging.
Cool.
It's just me, and then I've got a team of 4 or 5 that
Yeah.
work alongside me. So it's really
Okay.
fun.
Good deal. Good deal. Awesome. And Cruz Built is the name of your company.
Yes.
And you're in Greensboro, North Carolina?
Yes.
Okay, so where do you service mostly?
So it's mostly the triad, which is kind of our county. It's made up of a couple different cities, but we pretty much will go up to Raleigh or well, Raleigh's not really up, it's kind of to the side. And then we'll go down to Charlotte. It just kind of depends. It's wherever
Sure. What do you
the
have like a
opportunity
radius
presents itself.
of time, a radius of distance that you'll go for a job?
The furthest I've gone is about an hour and 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to go further than that. It just depends
Are
if the
you?
opportunity presents itself.
Yeah. I mean, an hour 15, I've done that as well, but that's about, for me, that's about it. Like, and unfortunately where I live, that could be, 20 miles depending on traffic.
Is it bad?
Oh yeah. See, if you go
Okay.
north towards Seattle or east, it's just awful. So, hey, let's I want to learn a little bit about your childhood and growing up and maybe junior high and high school years. So you said you're
Mhm.
originally from where?
Uh, Charlotte, North Carolina. I was born in
Charlotte.
Florida, Miami,
Oh,
Florida,
okay.
but I
Mm-hmm.
was only there till I was about 3 years old, and then we
All
moved
right.
to Charlotte,
Okay.
North Carolina.
Okay. And where do you attend elementary school?
So I went to a tiny private school called ACA. It was called what was it? Adventist Christian Academy. It's this
Okay.
tiny little private school. I
Mm-hmm.
went there from pre-K all the way up until about seventh and eighth grade before I got in trouble, and then I went to a couple other private schools.
Okay. So were your parents always adamant about keeping you in like a privately ran school versus the public school system?
They were. I don't. I think for my mom, like having immigrant parents,
Mm-hmm.
there was something about private school. I don't know why, but I specifically remember that they were just extremely adamant about wanting to provide me with a private school experience, like more of a one-on-one, face-to-face with
Sure.
teachers. And I wanted the opposite.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, so what was it like? Was it with smaller classes, a smaller student, or
Yeah, it was really small. I mean, most of these schools only had basketball as a sport. The one
hmm
that the school I ended up graduating from, I'll put it into perspective. I was one of 12 kids to graduate, and that was the largest class to ever have graduated from that school.
wow,
Really
wow,
small. The year after me, 2 people.
no kidding. So when you say graduate, is that like your senior year of high
Hmm.
school?
Yes.
So, oh my goodness. Okay, all right. So let's before we get there. So
Yeah.
you get through grade. You're going through grade school, and then you said. So how did it break down? Was there like a conventional elementary, then junior high and senior high, or is it just like K through 12?
It's kind of still broken up as like elementary, middle, and high, but the
hmm
grades just run all the way through.
Okay.
Um,
Is it all housed in one area, like or one a set of buildings or something like that?
So I ended up going to three different private schools.
Okay.
I got in trouble at a couple of them
Yeah.
along the way. Every single so one of the high schools I went with a boarding school that
Sorry.
was completely separate. No, you're
Hmm.
fine. The other one I went to had the elementary, middle, and high school separate. And then the one I ended up graduating from, it just kind of had like wings. Like it was like
Mm.
elementary wing,
Okay.
middle, and high school wing, and we would kind of
Hmm.
alternate with like the trailer that was outside.
Interesting. So the first time you got in trouble, was this a decision that your parents had made? Said, "Hey, we're going to put you in a different school," or was it like the school said, "No way are we having this guy stay in our system"? What was the?
Um, it was more the school asking at me, asking me. Jason, I got expelled from three schools.
Wow, were you just a
Um,
rebel or what?
yeah, it was nothing like super crazy, but it was
Hmm.
just I was very rebellious.
Okay,
I
there's nothing
didn't
wrong with
like
that,
being
man.
I didn't like being told what to do. I think
Hmm.
that's just what it came down to at the end of the day.
And
Um,
what did your parents tell you about like maybe the second time, like, hey, this is becoming a pattern, or were they cool with it, or were they supportive of you, or what was the synopsis on that?
wait, was it three times I got expelled? One, two. I think it was three. Yeah. After the second one, it was kind of that's when they sent me to boarding school. That's when they were like, "We don't know
Mm,
what else to do. We're sending you to boarding school."
okay.
So I got expelled twice in middle school, and then in ninth grade, I got sent to boarding school. So I went to
Okay.
Asheville, North Carolina, which is the mountains here.
Okay. All right. So when you were in school, in the middle school, what were you? Was there a sports? Were there sports teams and stuff, or academics, or what was your primary focus besides getting in trouble?
Um, it was probably sports, but I didn't really care that much about school sports. I really enjoyed skateboarding back then.
Okay.
That was kind of more of what I was into. And I mean, even skateboarding, it's very rebellious by nature.
Of course. I
So
mean, you're basically almost hurting yourself on every trick you try.
pretty much.
So,
But yeah, I mean, it was always just, yeah, I don't know. I think it was mostly, I would say middle school was filled with skateboarding and me trying to figure myself out. Like it was definitely some dark
hmm,
years when I look back
okay,
at it.
interesting. So, okay, so I need to develop a timeline really quick.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
How old are you right now?
I'm 35. I'll be
Okay,
36 this July.
all right, cool. So, how old were you? I mean, obviously, you're around the age, of most kids that are in middle school or whatever. So
Hmm.
you're in your teens probably when you were expelled, ninth grade,
Hmm.
eighth, ninth grade. So you went from a private school to boarding school, and then you lost your ability to be with your parents, right? Like
Hmm.
you were basically away. It's kind of like going to college, but not to college.
Yes. Yeah, I was 15 years old when that happened.
15. Okay, 15. So what
Yeah.
was that experience like for you? Like how often were you able to see your parents or go home or what was that like?
Yeah, I'm a big feeler. So I'm just gonna shoot you straight, Jason.
Yeah.
I'll never forget first day there, my parents go take me, I'm talking up a big game. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. Like freedom. It's what I've always wanted. And my mom's trying to like prepare me for like, hey, you do realize like you're washing your own clothes, right? Like, hey, you do realize like you are going to have to wake yourself up and go to the cafeteria. Like, hey, you do realize you're no longer getting my homemade meals. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. And I'll never forget that the first week I was there, that Friday, when I ran out of clean clothes and I started crying and was like, oh my gosh, like I had no
Whoa.
idea like that I had it made, that like my mom did my laundry for me, that she cooked my meals, that she had snacks, that like I had food whenever I wanted. It wasn't quite what I thought it would be.
So it packed a pretty good punch.
For sure. for
Wow, what a
sure.
reality check. So after that first week and you hit and this all hits you, does your demeanor start to change a little bit on how you perceived your home life and maybe some of the perceptions that you have about what you're doing with your life?
It did for sure. It kind of started to change the trajectory, although I will say it was after I got expelled from that school that really, like, everything took a turn. So I like it really straightened me up, I would say, for like the first quarter of the year. And then I would say by like the second, like halfway through the year is when I like was like, okay, I'm comfortable in this. Like I figured
Hmm.
it out.
Okay.
Like this is normal for me. Like I understand the way of the dorm room and like the
Hmm.
seniors and the juniors and the sophomores and the freshmen. And like I get
Okay.
all the things. But I got in trouble being adventurous, I guess you could say. It's like I knew I was supposed to be somewhere at a certain time. I wanted to go skateboard, so I was going to go skate. Um, there were tunnels that ran through the entire school's system, like the stormwater tunnels.
Oh wow.
I crawled through all of them. It's like I got caught doing stuff like that. Like it's always been trouble for little silly things. But what really got me was that I had ordered some like saltpeter, I think is what it's called at the time,
Hmm.
because I wanted to make a
Hmm.
smoke bomb.
Uh-huh.
And I ordered it. And at the time, you could order this stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
And so like,
Yeah.
I just ordered it on the internet to the dorm room. And my dean comes walking up and is like, "Why do you have a tub full of white stuff?" They thought it was drugs, and I was like, "No, it's saltpeter." And they're like, "Well, that's not any better." Just so they Google it, and it's like, "That's for explosives." And I'm like, "I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to make smoke bombs, man." And so
Yeah,
they,
but there's a word bomb in it.
I know, I know. So
Dude.
yeah, it
Wow.
wasn't very good. And then I think the final straw was when I decided I would steal the master key.
Ooh.
Um,
Did you
so
get it?
I did. Look, I got it, and I never knew if it was gonna, or I'll never know to this day if that key actually worked or not. So I stole the key, and as I was about to put the key in to try it for the very first time, my dean called me and was like, "Hey, can you come into my office?" And
Oh. Wait,
yeah,
let
I
me open this
walked.
door really quick.
Yeah, I didn't even get to open the door. I turned around and I tossed it in a pot, in like a plant pot right there
Oh,
before he
dude.
questioned me about it.
Yeah. Oh boy. You
Obviously,
fessed up? Did you fess up to it?
I did fess up to it and I never got to try it, obviously. So I never got to grab the key back out of the pot.
Dang. Man, I mean, he should
So,
have at least he should have checkmated you and said, "Okay, at least check the key." You
I
know,
know.
but
Yeah, and try it, see if it was worth it.
probably yeah, probably not. So you were just mischievous, man. You weren't
I
doing drugs,
was.
you weren't drinking, you weren't
Nah.
you weren't bringing girls into the dorm room. You weren't doing anything like that.
No, I
You
really
were you were
wasn't.
just you're just like being a dude, really. I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's kind of it sounds like maybe the rules were pretty strict. And okay,
they
so how
were.
old are you? How old were you at that point?
I was still 15, and then I
Oh,
got expelled from the boarding school, and I ended up at a really, really small school, the one that I told you I graduated from, with like 12 kids.
okay.
Um,
But hold on.
yeah,
So your parents are paying good money for you to go to this boarding school, right? And
yes.
and they're like, man, what do we got to do to this kid to knock some sense into him? Because we've been paying for his education. He just doesn't seem to want to stay or stick. Wow. Okay. Sorry.
Hmm.
I just had to bring that in.
No,
Okay.
you're good.
So you got caught, and what do your parents tell you at this point when you come home and you're expelled and they know why? And was there a conversation to be held after that?
There was. I would say that was the conversation my father had with me that really was like a turning point in my life. Um, it was really just like from my mom's standpoint, like she didn't know what to do with me at that point. That was the second
Mm-hmm.
school I had been
Yeah.
asked to leave her dream school for me, the first, private school I grew up going to, and then we had found this one, and they had also asked me to leave, and now this. Right, this was the third one. So like at this
Mm-hmm.
point, she really didn't know what to do. In fact, it was just such a big deal because we couldn't even get me into a school to get a GED at the time. And so
Oh.
she was like, "We don't know what's going to happen to you."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll never forget that 15 was definitely the point where like things started to shift in the right direction.
All right.
So,
I mean, because you're about to turn 16, the opportunity to have a driver's license and drive
mhm.
a car and maybe have your own car and all that stuff come about. And, you can't be too mischievous when you're behind the wheel. Trust me, I've been there.
Mm.
I got into all kinds of trouble. I'm surprised my son hasn't really. Have you even gotten a speeding ticket?
No,
Huh?
I've gotten nothing.
Have you ever been pulled over by the police
Man,
even?
No,
get out. That's
I think
crazy, Calvin.
I think I made up for Calvin in my teenage years because I got enough citations for both of us.
Did you ever get
I
enough of that letter in the mail that said like, "Hey, if you
You're
get any more
suspended.
infractions, yeah, your license is."
Well, man, by the time I was 19, I'd been through so much.
I dodged a cop in front of you though.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Remember 6 years ago, we went to the other side of the state, and we were coming
Oh,
back.
that's right.
And I
We
was
dipped on
doing
a
like
cop. Yeah, I was part of that.
I-
You were doing 115 miles an hour in the
no,
Fusion.
no, don't put me like that. That's not what I
Like
was
100.
doing.
It was over 100.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna look that bad on the internet, but it was like between 80, 85 on a 60, as you do
Yeah.
in the desert.
You're hustling.
2-lane road. No one's
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
and you weren't super paying attention. You fly by a cop. Oh, okay. They turn out. I'm like, oh, it's over.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So, in my quick thinking, I decided to get in between two cars on the right lane because I was going in the left lane going fast. Then the cop was following us diagonally for like 5 miles, not moving, everyone out of his way. I don't know what he was thinking, but he couldn't get behind me to pull me over.
Oh, he could
And
have.
I pinned it at 60 at that point. And I came up with this story. If he pulled me over, I was going to say, well, officer, no disrespect, but the left lane is for passing, right? I was passing these cars. And then you saw me get over.
Fair enough.
So, and then I did the speed limit.
Smooth.
It just happened to be in front of you.
You already had it all figured out before it even happened. Did you ever wipe the
Genius.
sweat off your palms from that, though? I mean, I think there's
I mean,
still
we were
sweat
laughing
stains
about
on
it
my-
afterwards. You
Yeah,
couldn't believe.
it was fun. Yeah, we took that
That's
car.
awesome.
We drove that car as fast as we can make it go, downhill. Like this car will not go any
Ooh.
faster at 115 miles an hour. That's it.
Oh wait, I
That's the
didn't
slowest
realize you guys
that's
are
the
into
slowest.
cars.
That was the slowest I've
I'm
ever.
not. No.
It's the slowest
Oh,
I've ever
okay.
been speeding. Anyway, so
By the way, that was not me. That was him.
great side note,
On the
son.
100?
Thank you. Yeah,
Love it.
whatever.
I'm not going to be incriminated here on the internet, okay?
Yeah, I'm guilty.
I'll
Save
be
that
honest.
for the Patreon.
Oh yeah, save it for the Patreon, Calvin.
I told you the truth. There's no more to the story.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm into cars. I appreciate a fine automobile, mostly sports cars, fast
Okay.
vehicles. But sometimes, like, I could see a Porsche GT-R3, whatever, and be like, I guess that's a really hot car. And somebody was trying to say, you don't want a Lamborghini, you want one of these. I'm like, well, no, I really would rather have a Lamborghini. I don't care if it's slower.
Oh
It
man.
gets- more people notice it than this Porsche. And I see Porsches every day, but I hardly ever see a Lamborghini. And every time I see a Lamborghini, my head snaps. But anyway, this isn't about me.
It's a
This
Porsche.
is about
dream
Cruise built. Cruise built. So, anyways, okay. So you get suspended or expelled. You go to this final. Is this the last school before you graduate? Now, are we in the like sophomore
Yeah,
years
so we
now? or-
yeah. So freshman year we end up at this other tiny school called Lake Park Christian Academy.
Okay. Now, how are your academics compared to the other schools? Like, was it harder to come into this other school, or was it easier for you? Or
This last one.
yeah.
This last one actually was the hardest one because it was such a
Oh.
small school that the teachers actually gave you that like one-on-one.
Oh.
It was
Okay.
it wasn't very easy. It's
All
almost like
right.
they tailored it to the student.
Well, I mean, you don't really appreciate that at 15 or 16 years old, but you really do later in life.
Hmm.
How rare is that to have like one or two students per teacher? That's a crazy ratio.
Yeah.
Public school, you're getting 35 to 40 to 1.
Yeah.
You never get your questions answered. So how did that roll for you?
Let's see. It was different. It was really tiny. I was trying to figure myself out. I was trying to reinvent myself. Obviously at this
Mm-hmm.
point I knew that where I was headed was not the right direction. And so at this point
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is my last shot. I've got to get my act together. I can't get
Mm-hmm.
in trouble. I really reinvented myself. I went from like gangster looking Sam in middle school to like Abercrombie and Fitch wearing Sam in high
All right.
school.
Yeah.
And so I was really just trying to Hollister. I mean, you name it. Like I was really
Mm-hmm.
just like trying to stay on the path. And it's where
All
I
right.
ended up meeting some really great friends and my wife.
You met your wife in high school.
Hmm.
I was just about to ask. I was like, how was the dating pool? What must not have been huge at that
No, it
school.
wasn't very big at all.
But you found the right one, huh?
I did, yes.
Wow. Okay, what grade were you in when you met her?
Let's see. Did I meet her my freshman year? I think I met her that first year that I was there. I didn't even know she existed. I actually was became friends with her brother in fourth grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I was friends with him and would call his house. And one day she picked up the phone, and then
Mm.
I'll never forget. I think she was in eighth grade. Yeah, that's right. So I didn't really, our paths didn't really cross because I was in ninth grade.
Oh, okay. So she's a
So,
little bit younger than you.
hmm yeah. So
All
she was
right.
1 year behind me.
Okay. Cool. So then the rest of your high school, what was that entailing? Like these one-on-one teachers, like you're getting really good. So I would say this is a really high quality education you're receiving. And is this obviously still considered a private school, correct?
hmm Yeah.
Wow,
So,
kudos to your parents, man.
yeah. I don't really think I realized what they had done for me. I
Have
mean,
them
it was
listen to
good.
this podcast.
I will
Give them a
for
link and say,
sure.
"Mom, you got to listen to this. This guy really thinks highly of you because of the patience you had raising me."
Yes, I know. I was a handful. I
Your
will
parents must have
admit.
been really patient.
Yeah, they were. Well, I've got a Cuban mom with a very strong personality and a Mexican dad with also a really
Okay.
strong
Are
personality.
are they? Do they speak native tongue at all
Uh-huh.
to you?
Oh yeah.
Are you trilingual
Trilingual.
or bilingual?
I would say bilingual. Yeah,
So you
for
speak
sure.
Spanish and English,
Hmm. Yep. My Spanish is a
and
little
Cuban
rusty, but
Cuban
yes.
is Cuban's native language is what?
It's also Spanish. They're just different
Okay.
dialects.
Different
Yeah, it's
dialect, yeah.
think of it like Northern English versus like Southern English.
Or it's like Spain. Like Spain has
Yes.
they speak Spanish, but there's
Yes.
different
It's
dialects. Yep.
different. Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
I get it now. Sorry for my ignorance, but like
No, it's all
for our
good.
listeners, that's good. They don't speak Cubanese or something like that. It's like
No,
Spanish,
no,
right?
it's just yeah. If I spoke in Spanish, you would definitely pick up on more of a Cuban accent for those
Okay,
who would know.
that's rad, bro.
Yeah,
It's cool to be able to speak two languages.
yeah, it
Calvin's learning
helps out.
Portuguese.
Oh, that's awesome. I tried.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
use it enough.
Yeah, same here. I tried, and I was like, I'm still occasionally trying to try, but
Hmm.
that's a tough one.
No, he's not.
Not really,
If you're
but
not like using it every day, it's really hard to
bro,
pick up a new
he
language.
he's married to a full blooded Brazilian girl.
Oh,
So
come on.
yeah, let's go.
Come on.
He's got to
Love
learn.
it.
Yeah, we're all gonna go back to Brazil eventually, and I'm gonna have to learn a couple words because I'm sure I'm gonna have to get up in front of everybody and say something.
That's
We'll
awesome.
cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, bro. So when did you start dating this girl? Like, what grade were you actually in ninth grade, or did you kind of get to know her first, or what?
I'm trying to think. I didn't actually start dating until I graduated. Yeah, it was
Ah,
her senior year, and then that's when we finally started dating. Because before that, I was dating someone else.
okay.
Um,
So you graduate
hmm
from this little tiny private school,
hmm
and then do you go to college?
Yeah, so I ended up going to community college because my parents were like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what I want to do with my life." At the time, let's see. Yeah, I graduated in '09. And I really wanted to be an architect. Like my dad, my dad was a
Cool.
tradesman. He did drywall, and it really influenced me growing up wanting to get into construction. However, he really pushed me to not do anything in the field. He was like, "The work's too hard. It's rough on your body. Get yourself a desk job. Be an architect."
Huh.
Um, but right when I graduated in the '09, it's when everything kind of went downhill. So I
Yeah.
didn't pursue that.
Did
So
your
I didn't
dad
know
have
what
his
to
own
do.
company? Did your dad
He
have his own
did.
business?
Hmm.
Okay. And how big was it? Did he have a lot of employees or just a couple or none or what?
He did. Prior to that, he had over 100 employees. I'd say that
What?
probably, yeah, he had like 20 to 40, I want to say. I'm trying not to exaggerate here, but
Man,
I
he
would
was
say
a
20 to 40. They were hourly, and then he would subcontract, the rest of the guys.
he must have been just putting out
Um,
fires all the time.
all I remember my dad doing is driving around. Yes,
Right?
checking on
Exactly.
people.
Burning fuel
That's
and just
all he did.
putting miles on the work truck. Like
That's it.
you might as well get. They didn't have electric cars back then, man. You didn't,
Nah,
or maybe they did. I don't know. I'm really
nah, they
dating
didn't.
myself. No, okay. All right. So you didn't go into the sheetrock business with your dad,
I didn't.
okay?
No.
And everything in 2009. I mean that kind of recession had already hit, and
Hmm.
it was pretty much rolling downhill. So what did you decide to do?
I decided I would just try to get some gen ed classes out of the way. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, all right, I'll just do what people telling me to do. Go to community college for 2 years, get your gen ed classes out of the way while you're trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to go work for a car wash place, and I just started taking some gen ed classes. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I really didn't know. I just started going to school just to go to school.
Okay, hold
Um,
on, hold on.
mhm.
Talk to me about the car wash.
So I worked at a car wash. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what the car wash place is or
Go
not.
ahead.
Does it matter? Okay,
Yeah,
it's called
yeah,
Auto
we can
Bell
do whatever
Car
we want.
Wash.
Auto Bell car wash.
Auto Bell Car Wash. It's a pretty big chain in this like southeast region. It's family
Okay.
owned company the last time I checked. But they basically you run your car through like this Hannah. I remember it's called like a Hannah car wash system,
Mm-hmm.
and you would bring it, you'd vacuum it, and then you'd bring it out the other side, and you would just try to, dry it off, whatever the tire dressing or whatever the add-ons were,
Mm-hmm.
but 15 minutes or less. That was the goal.
And was it driver were the drivers outside of the car and you guys like vacuumed it?
Sometimes they were outside, sometimes they were in the car. It just depended on the car wash package that they would buy. It was interesting. I learned a
What was
lot.
it? What was the nicest car that you saw ever go through the car wash?
Oh man, the nicest car was I don't remember the exact model, but it was a Cadillac CTS V, right? I want to say
Mm.
yes. That had custom made wheels on it with the guy's initials. He was the Panthers wide
Oh,
receiver.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to roll it through the car wash.
He just
He
wanted to
didn't
roll it through the car wash.
he didn't want to pay for the extra hand
I
wash. Nope.
no.
$150,000 car. This
Yeah.
is a beater. This is a beater. We're running it through the car
Dude,
wash. We're going to the party. We don't have
dude,
time for this.
I'll never forget. I didn't even realize it because I was already into cars at the time, and I was
Hmm.
like, whoa, and it was black. And I was like, he's
Oh,
running it through
perfect
this
color.
car wash,
Yeah.
and I'm like, he's running it through this car wash, and it's a black vehicle.
Kind of
And it's,
swirls everywhere.
yeah, it's not a touchless car wash, but I'll never forget that it was when I was wiping his wheels that I realized that they were custom made and they had his initials on it. That I was like, whoa,
That's going to be me someday, man.
come on.
I don't even know if that's going to be me because if I had that much money, I don't know if I'd put my initials on something on my
On
vehicle.
the wheels.
Yeah, or like Shaq has Superman logos on everything, or whatever. I guess that's great, but I don't know. Okay, sorry to interrupt you, but I had to catch that because
No,
that to
it's
me is
okay.
like that's a little nugget that's going to be interesting for people to hear is the car wash, man. Okay, so you're doing the car wash and you're trying to figure things out, and so continue, please.
Yeah, so I just did the gen ed classes, and then my so at the time my girlfriend, who's now my wife, graduates. She ends up going to another college. I'm starting to kind of feel pressure from her of like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, I don't know, because we're here at the like 2 year mark of being at community college, and she's like, well, why don't you come up here? or no, I'm sorry. I transferred to a local university at the time. And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm going to at least, I finished my 2 years of community college. I'm going to at least go to the university and
Hmm.
start figuring something out. And I think at the time, the first thing so I was still working at the car wash place and I was trying to do architecture school. I was like, I'm still going to try it. Like, I'm like, I'm going to go for it. Hopefully things are better by the time I graduate. Um, that was not the case. It was very,
Mm.
very heavily focused on math, and math is my weakest subject, even though it's my favorite subject.
Okay.
Um,
It helps you out nowadays, I suppose, huh?
it does for sure, yes. But at the time, I realized that it was just very math heavy, and I was like,
Hmm.
why am I having to learn all this math if everyone just uses computers? I'm like, this isn't practical. Um, but I get it at the time. I'm trying to think. You want me to keep going down the college path?
Oh, let's wrap it up. Like, give
Okay.
me a quick summary of it. It's fine.
So
Like,
basically what happened is I ended up switching majors like 6 times. The best advice that I got was that someone told me shadow whatever career path you want. Like shadow
mhm.
that person in real life and get a sense of what their day to day looks like. I really took that to heart. So I
Mm.
changed majors 6 times. I ended up going to the university in Greensboro, which is where I live now. And at the time, my wife was like, "Why don't you just come up here and learn or study entrepreneurship, which is just kind of like a broad
Yeah.
business degree." And then I decided to quit my senior year of college with half a semester to get my degree because
Okay.
I had decided at that point that I wanted to be a builder.
Cool. Okay. And what year was that? And how old were you?
I was 24 years old. It was the year I got
Mm-hmm.
married, 23, 24. So that would have been 2023, 2024-ish. I remember I was going back home during the summers. I wasn't staying here. And so I was going to school in Greensboro, and that's about an hour and a half to my house back in
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte. So I would go back and I was helping my dad out during the summers. And
Okay.
I was in college at this point, and I'm like, here I am. And I'm just like, I am literally wasting my life away in college because I can't make a decision on what I want to do. And I feel like it's plain as day. Like I've known this whole time I want to do construction, but my dad's the only one telling me don't do construction.
Mm.
And so I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm like, I Googled it. I saw you couldn't even really find out what someone's salary was at the time in the trades, like the internet was popping, but you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't find out that kind of information. And I was like, I'm going to go into construction. I'm going to pledge my life to a builder for about 5 years. I'm going to learn under their dime, and then I'm going to get my license, and I'm going to become a builder. And that's pretty much exactly what I did.
All right. So where did you go to work?
So I went to go look or work for a local custom builder in the area. I'd say there's like three that are kind of very prominent. And
Mm-hmm.
then so I went to go work for one of those three. And I worked there for 5 years, but I got connected through a mutual friend. And I basically just pledged to the owner at the time and was just like, "Hey, I'm going to pledge 5 years. I'm very candid. I'm going to be very blunt with you. I want to get my license, so I'm going to pledge 5 years. I can promise you that I'm not going to steal your clients. I won't steal your subs, and I won't ruin your
Steal your
reputation."
tools. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I
Cool.
won't ruin your reputation when I leave. But
Right on.
5 years, I'll give you
Mm-hmm.
everything I got if you're willing to give me a shot. And they gave me a shot, and they were like, "Okay, if you really want to learn, we're going to start you from the bottom." And so I was just the gopher. I vacuumed houses for about a year. I went and picked up building materials, but my head was always on a swivel. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
learned. I didn't really, no one really taught me, but I used the opportunity I got. And so, like, as I was vacuuming and cleaning houses, I mean, I would literally have my head on a swivel and was writing it down. Like, was like writing the
Nice.
process down of the house being built. Like, okay,
Sure.
this guy came in, this guy came in, this guy came in. And I would ask
How
a
cool is
bunch of
that?
questions. So
Mm-hmm.
I just had the drive, and someone had given me the opportunity, and I was going to make the best of the opportunity that I had been given. So,
Very cool. Okay.
um,
So you started at that you started at the bottom, and
Mhm.
where were you like middle of this tenureship? What were you doing?
Great question. Right at the middle, right at the 2.5 year mark, I kind of felt like, you know, I'm sure they're going to listen to this, so I'm trying to be very careful with my words.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I felt like there wasn't an opportunity there to truly experiment with my ideas. Let's just put it that way. And so I've kind of voiced some concerns and brought them up to someone there, and they were like, they acknowledged them. They had acknowledged the points that I had made, and they were like, why don't we move you to a sister company? And so they put me with their sister company, which looking
Mm.
back was the biggest blessing I ever had, because then they put me with their sister company with it was more of a track builder, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was going for quality.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like
doing
that was,
generic, man.
and like I'm over here building townhomes. And so, I did not like what I was building, but again, I'm one of those people that likes to look at the glass half full, and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
make something of the opportunity. So I was like, what can I make of my time here? And I learned so much. Um, so I ended up working for a guy named Derek Todd, who was the kind of project manager over the company and ran all the construction. And he ended up teaching me how to actually be a project manager and a site superintendent, which is what I had been dying to learn. At this point,
Mm.
I had been putting all these pieces together myself. I'd moved up the company. I went from vacuuming to a carpenter's apprentice to like doing punch work and repairs to starting to run jobs to starting to get taught how to sell jobs. And then I made the move. And like now I'm getting put into a position where I'm running production schedules and like really learning how to project manage. Someone's teaching me how to run a schedule, the importance of the schedule. And that's more of the way that I looked at it because I didn't really like what I was building. Um, but I got really good at, running 20. I think at the most I had 22 semi-custom homes or townhomes running at the same time. I learned how to
Wow.
build prototypes. It was a really good experience.
Right on. So that's how you finished out your time at that company was with the sister company,
Yes.
and I bet you at the end of those 5 years, they're probably like, "Oh man, you sure don't want to stick around because you kind of got it now."
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what kind of happened. And I
Okay.
had to remind them, that like, hey, I had said this from the get-go that like, here we are. And
Right.
I had made that commitment because I had told myself by the age of 30 years old, I've got to have my license. That was the 5 year
Mm-hmm.
commitment. I started right
Mm-hmm.
at 24, 25 years old and was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm an extremely type A person, and I had already mapped out, like my kids' ages and stuff. And I was like, if I'm
Oh,
going to do this, I
nice,
have, I have to, I have to start at the age of
honey.
30 years old.
At August 13th, we got to start having kid. We got to try to have a kid.
I just knew that
What
I
a
wanted kids while I was really young.
That's hilarious. You conned her
So,
into dude.
yeah,
That's well. I got to be honest. Like when I met you, your energy, I took some of it from you because it's so infectious, and
thanks,
it's something
Jason.
about you. I mean, sometimes it's hard to translate that on a computer screen or digitally, but there's a human connection, and when you pick up on that, you're like, this guy's great. Like regardless
Oh,
if you'll be on the podcast or if I never see you again or whatever, it was just like something you just kind of resonates with you. And so when you say those things, I just want the listeners to know that you're not joking. Like there is a special thing about you that not everybody has. Hardly anybody does actually. But there are
oh
shining
man.
lights. There are shining stars in the room, and you definitely have that characteristic. So I can see your clients are really lucky to have you as your contractor. I often joke with my clients and say, after I get up off the kitchen table, I'm done. We've spec'd everything out. I say, congratulations, you've qualified to be one of my clients. And they kind of like open their eyes and they look at each other, and I say, I'm just kidding, man. And they start laughing. But you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you.
100%.
And I think that you have an advantage. And I try to have the same energy when I go in on a bid or meeting people sometimes to parallel your energy. You have to be elevated. I'm just saying
Well,
it like straight up. That's not. I'm not trying to hype you out or nothing. It's just that's what I see. What I see is
well,
what I see. But
I appreciate
that's
it.
that's why you're on this right now is because I just thought you'd be a great guest. So
Thanks,
with that
Jason.
being said, you're welcome. Okay, so let's see. You graduated. Oh wait, you finished your 5 years. So CB. I see it on your
Yeah,
shirt. It's on your
yeah,
shirt, man. That is that. So you said I'm going to start a construction company. I'm calling it Cruise Builds or Built.
yeah.
Cruise
So
Built.
you got it. I mean, I did everything that I could not to burn a bridge. I gave them a 6 month heads up.
6 months.
After I got my license, I was like, hey, sometime next year, I'm probably gonna quit because it's my 5 year mark. And they were like, okay. And so I quit. I trained someone. I gave them the opportunity to find someone so that I could train them before I left.
Mm-hmm.
So that I wouldn't leave a hole. And then I just so happened to run into someone next to me who had just bought the piece of land next to the house I had just bought. And there's a super funny story there how that happened too. But turns out I end up building that a house next to me, a custom home right
Mm.
next to me. That's the first project. And so I basically quit my job all on betting on this one custom home. And we end up starting it. I'm what, 26 at the time, I think. No, 30 years old. Um, and I I started construction on my very first custom home for Cruise Built on
Wow.
a wait, I take that back. During the last 6 months or so of after I had gotten my license, I did do one kitchen remodel for a friend. That was the first
Okay.
project that I ever did. I won't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the custom home that kind of projected or propelled me enough to be able to quit my full time job and say, I'm going to do this. And I had a conversation. My wife was working at the time, so she really sustained me and like really kept our family going while I went off on this venture. And I'd start this custom home at the age of 30 years old, and it had a 1.5 page contract. Terrible. I had no idea how to do any of the administrative stuff. Like I knew at this point how to
Mm.
build a house. You know, it's like construction
Mm-hmm.
easy for me. I've been doing it for 5 years, boots on the ground. No one ever taught me how to do the administrative side of stuff. So I'm like, man, I've got to hunker down and create systems and processes in place.
School of Hard Knocks, man. I think we've all been there at one point or another. I never went to college. I never had a business education. If you don't have it, you got to learn it, and you figure it out. But I've been doing this for 35 years, and it was hand typed 1 page contracts. My wife would type them for me because I make so many mistakes. We had to use this stuff called whiteout.
I remember
And
that.
yeah, okay, and you'd put that you'd hold my page up to the light, and all it was dots. Like,
That's so
like
funny.
it was awful. So so at 30 years old, what now was this somebody hired you to build the house, or did you get a loan from the bank and say I'm going to build a house, or how did this work?
Yeah, no, it was a contract to build. So
Okay.
they owned the lot. They couldn't, they couldn't sell it. I think they were trying to sell it. And so they ended up deciding they were just going to build on it.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy fact, to this date, 5 years in, I have never had a client that didn't just pay me all in cash. I
Really?
have no idea how loans work. I have no idea. Yeah. Everyone always asks me because I build custom homes. I'm on my fourth one and about to start my fifth one. And I'm like, I have no idea.
Huh. So you're building one house a year?
Um, just about. I mean, we did one our first year, none the second, and then did two my third year. And we're about to
Nice.
start another one this year.
Wow, dude, that's
So,
impressive. So you really
yeah,
enjoy building homes?
I do. Yes. I would
Is that is
say
that your primary? Is that what you're known for then, or?
I don't know what I'm known for. I don't like drawing attention to myself, believe it or not. So I don't really ask around town what I'm known for, but I tell people that my primary focus, the two things that I really enjoy doing is either custom homes that are high performance or just really unique, like something about them is complicated. So that usually means it's like a smaller square footage house and it's high performance and it has a lot of complicated details. Or I like historic homes, very old homes, because they also have a lot of character and things are crooked and nothing is plumb. And I love that because you can't
Yeah.
recreate that. So those are kind of the two opposite ends that I enjoy.
And decks.
And Dex, yeah, sorry. And I will say, you sorry, I didn't say Dex. I should have said it, and I'm not going
I'm
to say it
kidding.
just because you said it. No, but I will tell you, I'm. It's funny that you say that because when people ask me what I'm passionate about, it's custom homes that are small or have something very complicated. I tell them it's working on historic homes, so it's not even remodeling normal homes. It's historic
Mm-hmm.
homes,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's Dex.
Mm.
And people say, Dex, really, why? And I'm like, do you know how complicated Dex can be? I'm like, you can make it as complicated as you want it to be. I'm like, and that intrigues me because I had no idea that the world of Dex even existed until I found you.
You can
Um,
make them impossible to build.
I know, I know. And people are like, it's just a
Oh my
deck. And I'm
goodness.
like, False. Don't ever say that.
Yeah.
It's not just a deck.
Well, people like, as a deck builder, if somebody doesn't know who I am or what I do, or they've never seen our
Hmm.
work, especially some of our finer work, and they'll like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, Mr. Jones, or whoever you are. You're so and so's friend. Great.
Hmm.
Oh, what do you do? Oh, well, I build decks for a living. Oh, really? I built a deck once. And I'm like,
Yes.
no, you
Yeah.
haven't. And then I pull up my phone. I'm like,
These kind of
see,
decks.
and they go, oh, and then they go, oh, and then they go, oh, oh, wow. And
Yes.
it's like,
You're an
I don't go
artist.
around, oh, you're an airline pilot? Oh, I've flown an airplane once. It's not the same,
Yes.
man. But that's
Yeah, no, it's
hilarious.
not the same. It's
No,
funny that you
so
say that. Yeah, because
I
you
think
like what you do is I view the style of it doesn't matter what area of construction you're in. If you pour your heart into it, I think some people view what they do as art. It's an art. It's a piece of
yeah,
art. You know,
yeah,
it's
100%.
like I'm gonna craft this piece of art.
Yeah. Even if we're building squares, it's still a really
Yes,
nice square. It doesn't, not every
exactly.
deck has to have a curve in it, and a lot of them don't. Those ones stand
But
out and people remember them, but,
mhm.
we can do a really nice rectangle too. It just, it's how you put it together and maybe some floor details or corner details or in the railings
Yes.
or whatever, so,
Oh
but,
no.
so of these four homes you've built in the last 5 years, is there a particular one that you enjoyed more, that you like building better than others?
Um,
You like
gosh.
building bigger homes or smaller homes or?
No, I'm actually I'm more on the my point of view is I prefer like high performance and would prioritize the guts of the build and
Hmm.
tell someone to
Okay.
go with a smaller square footage home than a big square foot home that it's just
So do
got
you follow Tim? Awesome Framers. Do you
um
follow Tim?
I do, yes. I actually got to meet him.
Good. He's a good guy. We're only 30 minutes away from each other,
Oh, get
but
out.
no, for real, we're really close. It's so
Oh,
funny
that's
because he'll
super
have
cool.
he'll have all these people from that I know on the internet. I'm like, dude, how come you didn't call me? Like, I'm only half an hour from Tim. They're like, no way. Like, that big old bridge you drove over? Yeah, I'm 10 minutes from there. Oh man, I
That's
blew it. Yeah, you
crazy.
did. Kyle, our buildings, you blew it, man. Anyway,
Oh
so
man.
all right. So what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite part of the build?
Um, hmm. I would say, yeah, probably once framing starts.
Framing.
Yeah.
When you say high performance, because in my opinion, high performance, that's kind of a new thing in construction, in
Hmm.
home construction. Um, and these influencers and some of these ambassadors, they're really pushing, like, I don't even know what the term is, but I went to Soshko and I toured their factory once, and we had a whole day of high performance house building. I'm like, dude, I'm a deck builder. Like, do I have to be here? This is I'm exterior, man. A lot of this doesn't apply to me, but it was interesting for once just to hear the whole run of how important it is to, like, so you're not losing air, but you got to make sure the house can still function properly And so it's building science. So there's an actual method to the madness of how you build, right?
Yes. So I'm actually um, in the process. I'm currently studying for a FIAS certification to be FIAS certified, which is an accreditation, not really a certification, on
Mm-hmm.
passive home building. It's the Passive Home Building Institution of the United States,
Okay.
which is really cool because they're basically taking what what the world standard is of passive home building, and they're the first ones to apply it to like a local climate. So it's like all the United States is their
Hmm.
focus. And instead of saying like, hey, we're gonna follow this general standard that like everyone uses, we're gonna take that model, but then take our current environment here in the United States and apply it. So I'm in the process of actually doing that right now to get
Hmm.
accredited, which is really fun. So it's really interesting getting to learn all the science behind it. So when I say high performance and stuff, I'm talking about people who prioritize energy efficiency, HERS ratings, who want, they're looking for closed cell foam envelopes or sealed crawl spaces. The people who value those kind of details in a house, well, those are the kind of projects that I will always prioritize than say someone
Mm-hmm.
who comes to me with like a 6,000 square foot house, and doesn't want any of those things. I would prioritize the like 2,000 square foot house.
So, do you have particular architects that will draw up a home to your spec or to a scientific spec that's more green, or maybe has all these details? I can't even speak of because I just know to roll the tape, you know, cover all your seams,
Yeah.
and but I think like
Yes.
spray foam. I mean, I don't know. Like this is like, are you trying to make this house so there's just no way air can get out of it, but you still have
Well,
to have a
that's a
good
passive
circuit?
home.
Okay.
Yeah, when you say that where it's like super super tight, I think that's where most people are. And that is a term that has been coined here, I think, in the United States. Passive homes. Um, that's when we're talking
That's
about like a super tight envelope and controlling, the moisture, the thermal, the vapor,
yeah.
all that stuff. Um, I'm really intrigued in that whole world, and the reason why I'm trying to get the FIA certification is because I'm really interested in how all these different products play together. I never want to feel
Right.
like I'm the builder who plays God with people's homes. And so
Right.
I feel like a lot of people do, and they're like, "Ooh, I like this product. I'm going to pick that one and use it." And I like this product. I'm going to pick that one and use it. But it's like, well, how do all of those work together? I
Yeah, to
don't
make
think a
sure you're
lot of
not
people.
you're not
Yeah,
creating a rot situation or something, or
right.
black mold situation, right?
Yes. So what I will do is I'll take essentially the ingredients, the list of ingredients that I want to use on a build, and I'll send it to Southern Energy Management, which is located here in Raleigh, and they'll pretty much put it in a model and pretty
Hmm.
much model the entire home, and they'll do all that backward science stuff. I'm
Cool.
interested to dive deeper into that, and
Really
that's how we kind of
understand.
model our builds.
Really understand. Okay, this is the kind of insulation you're using, so you have to use this type of
Yes.
sheetrock and use this type. Does it matter? Like, does it get as finicky as the type of mud you use and the type of tape you put on the house, or anything like that, or is that pretty standard?
I think it can. I haven't gotten far along enough to understand
Okay,
it to that extent, but I think
maybe
you
that's
can
another
because I think
podcast in the
some of them are
future.
like net zero.
Yeah, interesting.
So,
I did a deck for this one lady. She lived on this island, and she brought in a modular home, but she was
oh, neat.
so sick. She couldn't. It was a brand new home, so she couldn't live in it for 5 years because of the toxicity levels of the house. Like the new
What?
carpet, yeah, the off gassing and stuff made her sick. So she had to rent it out for 5 years before she could move into it, to have all the chemicals off gas and make it a little more neutral for her to live in. Which I
Get
found
out of
kind of,
here!
yeah, it was kind of crazy. She couldn't even go in the house. She'd come look at the decks, but she wouldn't go inside the house. It was brand new. They had nobody moved into it yet.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really sad to see, but it was interesting. Like, Okay, so eventually you'll be able to move in, but not yet. So, okay. What else? Is there anything you want to say or that you have to that you'd want to let us know about?
Um, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I would just say, for anyone listening, I would say pursue what you love first. Um, don't, if you get into this industry, into the construction industry, whatever sector it is, I would say experiment with it. Find out. Tell people it's okay that you don't know what you want to do yet,
Hmm.
experiment and try different things. Because there's a whole world out there of people who really love what they do. And it's people like you, Jason, who are out here, interviewing people and finding people and putting out content yourself that are inspiring other people to come up and start to speak up,
Yeah,
which is, I'm very fresh and I have just started to go to social media, and I would
yeah.
say, I'm using it in hopes to leverage my area and bring up the
Hmm.
entire area, because
There you
if
go.
I'm talking about it, I would hope that other people start asking about it so that other builders are having to, consider these options as well. And so, I would say all of that starts with just loving what you do first. You just
Yeah,
never
man.
know where it will take you.
And maybe if you put a river right through the middle of the house, that would
Come
really
on.
hit on the nail on the head, right?
Yes.
That would be insane. What's something you want to do in a home that if you get the opportunity, what's the first thing you're going to pitch a client that maybe has an extra, or let's say it's maybe not unlimited funds, but they got a few
Sure.
extra couple hundred grand. What to you would go in the home? Like, would you upgrade the kitchen and make it phenomenal, or would it be a like an entertainment room of some sort, or a movie theater, or a bowling alley? What would it be?
Oh, what area? It's got to be the outdoor living.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, it's got
Yeah,
to be the outdoor living.
yeah. I mean, you can easy drop a couple hundred on a nice pavilion and
Oh,
all the
yeah.
barbecues and TVs and rockery. And I mean, I haven't even delved that deep into it. We're getting ready to start doing some outdoor kitchen stuff soon,
Hmm.
which I'm really stoked for. But to massage some of this stuff into some of your builds, it takes time, and you got to find the right clients. And
Yeah.
but I think that's a good answer, man. Not because I'm into outdoor living, but it is kind of crazy to see how big it's become.
Yes.
COVID was not a bad thing for deck builders.
No,
It
apparently
was
not.
actually, I think the deck building, all the deck builders got together and said, "Hey, we got to create this disease. It keeps everybody at home." And people are going to live in their homes and realize we got a crap hole backyard. We need to upgrade,
Dude, I'm telling you, you don't know what you don't know until you go and spend some time outside.
right? Well, and I think just the fact, when you spend that much time at home and you're
Hmm.
not going out to eat, and you start cooking out on your Home Depot $150 barbecue, you start realizing, man, if I'm going to be cooking these $50, $60 steaks, I want a nice barbecue.
Yes. Yeah.
know?
You're right.
That's interesting. Okay, and then as far as your builds go, do you have many stacked up right now, or are you just taking on one at a time, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, great question. I'm still figuring that out, honestly. I am the type of builder who likes to hyper focus on what they do. And so I
Hmm.
like to babysit my projects. And so I never really take on more than two or three at a time. And even
Hmm.
that sometimes feels like a stretch.
Right.
Because I like to just be there all the time. I don't like just sending people.
Do you have employees that are like from ding to dong as far as the construction part? Like, are you there from the foundation pour all the way through framing and then finish work and then the final touches?
Yep,
Nice,
the whole step of the way. Oh, yeah.
beautiful. Do you
Yeah.
sub out a lot of stuff?
I sub out everything, and we are just now starting to talk about wanting to flip that and start doing some more in-house stuff because I miss the work.
Okay.
I miss the work. I used to do the work. That's how I started.
Yeah.
And I miss it, and I kind of want to go back to it. And I'm like, these are things that I think that we could do, and I know that we would do really well.
And sometimes it's a matter of financing and finances and saying, okay, this
Hmm.
guy's charging this much. If I do it, I want to make this much on it, or I can sub him out and still make this much. Is it worth me doing it versus having our subs
Right.
do it? So
Yes.
I could see that as being like, wow, the conundrum.
Yeah.
You know,
It
how
happens
much
quite a bit.
satisfaction does it?
It
Yeah,
does happen
you
quite a
struggle with
bit.
that.
Yes. I do struggle with that. I'm pretty good about it though. I'm much more on the I like to partner with people, and it's taken me a really long time to figure this out, but I know who the right subcontractor or the vendor is. It's usually an owner operator. Those are the ones who
Mm-hmm.
care just as much as I do,
Mm-hmm.
about the thing. But I just tell people exactly how I want it and how I would expect for the project to happen, and sit there basically and babysit and make sure that it happens that way.
Yep.
Um, so
Okay.
I don't know. So
So
sorry
what?
to answer that. I meant to say I do run with the like. Do I stay there and like know after like watching and seeing how it's like how some of these parts are happening? Yes, I do struggle with the like the numbers and making the math work. And it's like, well, I could just do this. Like we could totally do these parts. And then it's like, is that where my time is best served? I don't know. Um, ah, yeah,
So it's
I wrestle with
more
that.
about managing. You're managing to figure out how to manage things on the business side.
Hmm.
And what? Okay, we'll get into that a little bit more in our Patreon episode coming up next. But Sam Cruz from Cruz Built, thank you so much for being on the Dr. X podcast. It was great to get to know you a little bit better, learn a little bit more about you and your business. So thank you for sharing. And we are going to continue this over on Patreon. If you're not a subscriber to our Patreon channel, I would consider doing so because that's where all the good stuff comes out. So thanks for watching, guys. Sam, thanks so much for being on our podcast. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Over
Thanks.
and out.